How many of you think about the films you watch as being American films? Probably not that many, right? They're just films. Well, actually, no. They're films that are very unique and particular to a specific country, which is America. I didn't start thinking about films this way until I took a foreign film class, so trust me, I was in the same boat as you. And actually, the culture of American cinema is inherently tied to the culture of American society. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to take you through three big ideas. First, we're going to discuss what the culture of American cinema is. Then we're going to dive into how that's reflective of American society at large. And finally, we're going to discuss how American cinema is slowly becoming more representative of the different cultures here in our country. So first we're going to take a look at what exactly the culture of American cinema is, which in essence, it's a boiling pot of a lot of different cultures. According to Jared, who's an English and history teacher who posted on Medium, the essence of American cinema is the American way, immigration, gun control, race, LGBTQ+ issues, women's rights, and America at war. A lot of different cultures represented there. The other way that we can understand American cinema is through the history of the Hollywood system, which started out in the golden age or the classical age of Hollywood, where the studios had all the control. It was all about money. Then you had the new age of Hollywood, where directors were more auteurs, they were artists, they had a lot more creative control over the movies. And finally we get to the contemporary age of Hollywood, where we are now, where we're back to studios have a lot of control. It's about how much money they can make. It's the blockbusters, it's the motion graphics, it's all the special effects and all that fun jazz. So now that we kind of understand the culture of American cinema, we can understand how that's reflective of American society. So to do that, we're going to look at two different genres. The first of which is the road film, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's the road trip film. It's about the journey, not the destination. But it's also really reflective of society's fears and dreams and tensions. And according to David Laterman for the Journal of Film and Video, it's about the dialectical tension between the road film as rebellious critique of conservative authority and as a reassertion of traditional expansionist ideology forms the framework of these films. So as he's talking about, you can kind of see how you have the butting heads of those two different ideologies represented in the films. Some examples of this are Natural Born Killers, all of the Mad Max movies, and American Hunt. The other genre I want to look at is the war film, which can be divided into either pro-war or anti-war. Your pro-war films, your pro-military films, are everything from Black Hawk Down to The Hurt Locker, 13 Hours, Saving Private Ryan. There's a wide list of them that are very tied to emotionalist tendencies and the ideology of like, America is best, go America, and patriotism. On the other hand, you have the anti-war films, like Spike Lee's recent *Da 5 Bloods*, which is a scathing critique of the Vietnam War and the American military's treatment of black soldiers during that war. Again, real strong ties to emotionalism, and you can see the ideological divide that exists. Now that we kind of understand the intersection of the culture of American cinema and the culture of American society, we can look at how American cinema is slowly becoming more representative of the cultures that are represented in our society. So the first of which, we're going to look at the popularity of indie films. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, indie films are works growing out of ethnic and identity movements in contemporary American culture. Among these are films by African Americans, Native Americans, Chicano, Chicana filmmakers, as well as works representing feminist and LGBTQ+ viewpoints and cultural experiences. And cultures that don't find a home in Hollywood because they don't make money have found a home in independent cinema, which the popularity can also be seen by the existence of the Independent Spirit Awards, a ceremony created in 1984 that recognizes only independent films. In addition, we can see the increasing popularity of films without an all-white cast as an indication that films are becoming more representative of the different cultures that exist in our country, such as Crazy Rich Asians, which made $238.5 million, or Black Panther, which made $1.34 billion. So the line that a movie needs an all-white cast or an almost all-white cast to make money is inherently false and also racist. So, with all these things in mind, I'd like to review what we've discussed today and what you should take away. I want you to understand the culture of American cinema, how it's reflective of American societies, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, all those different tensions, and how American cinema is slowly shifting to be more representative of the different cultures in our country. So my aim is to encourage you to take what we've learned today and look at American films with a more critical eye and start looking for those patterns. Once you start, you won't be able to stop.